Right, time for second battery. Oh, sorry. Buongiorno. Ah, ciao, Bella. Ciao. Yeah, this is going to be a multilingual station as well. Not just a food tip of the day, but a different language each day to welcome people. So today we're doing Italiano, and it's ciao, ciao, buongiorno. It's a beautiful day, yes. Right, that's enough of my language course over and done with. Now this, I'm dying to see if I can get this a bit of skimming, if I can. That wind is just insane. It just is. You gotta be totally on your sticks. Unlike the good old Aero Scout, you can relax, but not with this. Wings are too big. I've got my COVID mask on today. Reason being, not because there's loads of people up here, because it's absolutely bloody empty. Loads of grass pollen, and the old COVID mask is brilliant for keeping pollen out of your throat. It doesn't affect my eyes. I used to smoke many years ago, and unfortunately, when you smoke, you desensitize your throat. Meanwhile, another little tip: nicotine is a great antiseptic. Nicotine is not harmful. It's the tar that does you in, and it just coats your throat up with tar. But when you stop smoking, not everybody, but some people, their throats become oversensitive, and unfortunately I'm one of them. And now my throat is extremely sensitive to pollen. It's not flower pollen at the moment, it's just grass pollen, and it just goes down your throat like dust, and you can almost chew it, and you cough, and the last time I want to be is sort of to be sick up the gong, so I'm coughing so much. So hence the old COVID mask. So they do have another purpose as well. This one little tip goes out to old Bob, because I know he's on the Ventolin, if I remember right, because he sometimes suffers with the old chest as well. Sometimes if it's extremely cold air, you get cold air going down your lungs, Ventolin's great, the old puffer. But if you haven't got it with you and you've got a COVID mask on, put the mask on, because what you're actually doing is you're heating up the air before it gets to your lungs. Therefore, you don't cough your lungs up because of the cold air. Christ, I'm a mine of information today. Where's it all coming from? What did I eat last night? It must have been some brain food. I don't know, I can't remember now. Certainly haven't got brain food tonight. Good old standby 14-inch pepperoni pizza and some special fries that I do, coated with paprika. Hot and spicy, just how I like it. That wind is you know, so I haven't had any throttle on all the time I've been talking. So he's just sitting there. It's not even. That's what the wind's like. It's crazy wind. Look, it's blowing it sideways. It's crabbing. Oh, just turn it a little bit. No, don't want to go. Here we go. Still no throttle. I'm so glad I never bought my supercar up here today. I think he got blown into the next county by now. Bloody pollen. But yeah, with today's wind, I mean, it's just, look, I mean, zip, nothing at all. It's just crazy. It's nice, don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm really enjoying flying. Put a little bit of power on, come up and come round. Chop the power. Can I do a glide? Can I do a skim? Oh, you know here. Bloody pollen. Twice. It's looking good. The wind's calming down a little bit. Only slightly. Still no throttle. That is the only thing where the wind is so choppy. It can flip. Hit the wing on the ground, and I definitely don't want to do that. Whoa! I can hear a helicopter coming from Windsor Castle. So that's why I keep saying you've got to stay below 300 feet up here, not 4 but 3, because you've got the heli route from Windsor Castle to helipad up in London, Westland helipad. Now that was strange, I just see something up in the sky there, black, where that helicopter was. You know what, it has now disappeared. I hope I've got that on film. UFOs. Mind you, talking about that, see the American government are now freedom of information, that they're all coming clean now about UFOs, on whether there are or whether they're not. They reckon there are. It's either that or, and I can hear that air ambulance taking off again. So I'm going to bring the kite round so I'm facing the right direction. It's spooling up his motors, as they say. And it should be taking off just where my finger's pointed to now. I'll put the old kite in a holding pattern. There we go, bang on. It's the only field over there where they can actually land. Yeah, going back to the America and the UFOs, they're now saying they do exist, because there was a video of one from a US Navy sub through the periscope, and they could see it hovering above the water. It looked like a sphere, and then it just dived straight into the sea, or as they say, doved into the sea. So they're now saying it's not American tech, not Chinese, not Russian tech, it's outworldly tech. But there again, I don't believe a word they say, because it could quite possibly be America's new tech. I mean, all the ones we used to see in the old days, turned out that used to be the old stealth bombers and the Blackbird, and that's what it was all about. So perhaps they've got something now which can actually go air and sea. It wouldn't surprise me at all. something they've copied out of one of, it might be something from a Jerry Henderson program, like Supercar. So it hasn't got wheels, it can go on land and water. I've got people walking straight over to me, so I've got to be really careful what I do. Really, really careful. You want a low shot? Okay. Especially for you, no worries. Only downside on this, I wish it had elevators. And you know what? I'm really tempted to put some on. Really tempted to put some on. I've got them plastic pinned hinges on their way. I could quite easily put elevators on this. It'd be brilliant if I could. Whether it muck the dihedral up or not, I don't know though. I'll have to do a bit of research. Because the dihedral wing on this does make it quite stable, I must admit. But this wind that's blowing now, and it really is blowing. Even with the Aero Scout, I'd have to be fighting. I think it'd even be too windy for the slowpoke, because the depth of the wing on that slowpoke is big, it's deep. You thought Deep Pan Peaks was deep, you want to see the depth on that slowpoke. It is really deep. Don't know what it flies like in the wind. I've only had it up once. Deep. Yeah. I think old Martin has definitely got more experience with me with the slowpoke, because the original slowpoke I had, I destroyed that, as in typical Hobby Kings. Why buy one when you can buy two? Which is what I always do. Then you've got a spare, you're the donor. I mean, I must admit, It's a good plane when I had it about a year ago. Perfect wheels for this ground, absolutely perfect. Big old Tundra wheels. I mean, I've actually changed them. The landing gear on there wasn't even up to it. So it was quite substantial landing gear on that. Plastic base going into brass screws and sockets and that. But you know what? It still ripped the landing gear out. So what I've actually done on that one, and that is put timber inside the fuselage, and I've had a spare Aero Scout undercarriage, and I've put that on there. But the undercarriage on the Aero Scout is more like sort of spring steel. Plus the fact I've actually gone old school and put some elastic bands on there as well, so it gives it a bit more spring. Plus the fact I've got extremely soft rubber tyres, extremely soft, so I don't get any bounce when it lands. And so when I maidened it, really pleased, extremely pleased the way it performed. Right, let's bring this in a bit closer now. This is so relaxing, this plane to fly, it really, really is. It's just totally relaxing. Half the time, I mean, look, there we go. No hands, absolutely nothing at all, just sitting there. What a good little kite. Absolutely bang on. If wind wasn't so choppy, I'd love to have done some skimming today, just about sort of say 2 foot 18 inches off the ground. It's just too choppy when you've got wind and you're fighting against it. Still no throttle. Prop's just sort of sitting there. So coming and do some skimming. So 1 minute you're fighting against it, you're giving it full left or full right, and then all of a sudden the wind drops, you're going to dig in. It's just too choppy. Still, never mind. There's always another day. See if I can come round without gaining too much height. Just give it a little bit of throttle. It's about 1/4 throttle. See how the way them wings flex? Yeah, I don't want to do that again. It was, yeah, see what I mean about that wind? You're fighting against it, and you're giving it full left, full right, and then it just dies, that wind, and then it's gonna end in tears, and I don't want to do it because I like this plane. Each time I brought it in, had another cup of coffee, then head back home. Because although it's very windy up here, the heat is yeah, pretty toasty. Right. Oh. Bleed some of that high out of there. See the way it's getting thrown about. It's crazy. I doubt I'll be able to do a pinpoint landing on this one. I'll try it. No, I'm just going to bring it down now. That's good enough. It's only about 30 feet, 40 feet away, so I'll take that one. The wind is just too choppy, just it is. I'd like to put landing gear on this. Now that would be interesting. The only thing is, up here, really windy, up here, you can only have gliders that are over a metre, and well, definitely this is a power glider, so I'm going to have to fly. Directly I'll put undercarriage on here, it then turns it by definition into a plane, which I don't want to do. So, well, yeah, I guess I'll stick where I am. I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to put we've got some on my couple of planes. I've got red and green. I'm going to take the reds off and replace them with 2 green. It doesn't make that much difference, especially on the aero scale. I've got that great big red LED at the front. But when this is coming in towards you or going away, and it's at a flat profile, you know what, you can't see where it's coming or going. So I really do need something on it. I mean, overnight, I've never flown it overnight, but I mean, all this thing completely lights up, front to back, wings, tail, the whole lot. That'll be my next project.